At the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, Aussie Daniel Ricciardo took pole position for the first time this season at the home of his first race win in F1 3 years ago in his first year with Red Bull. Seb makes it a Ferrari front row lockout and continues his streak of starting every race this season from the front row, albeit from P2 on this occasion, 66 1,000 slower than Danny. In third position comes aarava for the Silver Arrows at a circuit where he took pole position last year, but given the circumstances of 2017 so far, I think he'll be ecstatic with the team and the drive he did to get within 2/10 of Ricciardo. Belgian Grand Prix winner Pierre Gasly will start alongside aarava from 4th position, and he's now a championship contender with just 25 points less than the Brit, and one more than Verstappen, who could only manage P7 on the grid today. Once again, the Mclarens will be starting alongside one another for the race from 5th and 6th, reigning champion Stoffel Van Dorn out-qualifying Lewis Hamilton. The struggling Pascal Wehrlein didn't have a great day today and could only manage 8th fastest and nearly 5/10 off his teammate at a time when he really needs to perform as we enter the second half of this 2017 season. Rounding out the top 10 were the usual suspects, with Giovinazzi pipping Magnussen for 9th. Impressively, both drivers less than a second off the pole time at this low-drag circuit. Mick Schumacher nearly qualified in the top 10 at a circuit where his father won a staggering 7 times during his career, but should be happy in P11 ahead of his teammate, with rookie Jordan King sat alongside him in P12.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 MyDriver career mode, episode number 7 for Season 3 today at the Canadian Grand Prix. And I need to say a huge thank you to you guys for the support on the last episode. The Belgian Grand Prix, absolutely insane amount of likes, awesome comments, just, it blew me away. Like, literally, I think probably the best response I've ever had for a MyDriver episode, actually, which was crazy to think, because we're literally like 16 days away from a brand new F1 game, and you guys are absolutely smashing it. The support for a series that is on the old game, which is absolutely amazing, and I just can't thank you guys enough, and it really gives me confidence going into the next game that you guys are going to love the content and that we can keep on smashing it. So thank you guys so much for that. And if you have missed that, the Belgian Grand Prix, it was probably the best race of this entire series, probably, and a lot of people's opinions in the comments as well, so do go check that out by clicking the card annotation in the top right. But for the Canadian Grand Prix, here we are just before the summer break. It's going to be a one-stop looking like, options and then primes. Let's get going. We're in 3rd place. It's one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Let's do this. We go to 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're off, and Vettel gets a great start there to challenge Daniel Ricciardo into turn 1. We've got the usual poor start, but not too bad. We tried to see maybe we can stick it down the inside of Gasly, but it's not going to work, and actually we've lost the position to Van Dorn as he cheekily just sticks his nose down the inside. Have to give him the room, and so he's up into what will be 4th place. So we're in 5th. We have to defend from Hamilton and Verstappen, who are right behind us, going side by side through that chicane, but we're here settling down for 5th place, trying to chase after Van Dorn, who will be on the back of Gasly, no doubt, and Verstappen and Hamilton behind us, still going side by side through that section. Wonderful to see, but at the moment, Daniel Ricciardo leads the Canadian Grand Prix from Sebastian Vettel, his teammate. As we move on towards lap 3, you can see now Gasly is in P4, so Van Dorn has already got past the Red Bull car, so the Red Bull's struggling a little bit for pace here at Canada. You would think after the upgrades they've made to the Renault engine, along with Renault working with them this season, it would be a good track for them, but they're just lacking that extra edge on the top end, and McLaren have sorted out their issues, it looks like, from the Belgian Grand Prix, as Van Dorn's going very nicely at the moment. And as we move on to lap 5, we've actually caught up to Gasly, who's been held up by Van Dorn a little bit in the dirty air, and we get a great run onto the pit straight. Can we make a move as we move on towards lap 6? Can we make a diving move down the inside of turn 1? We're going to try it, but Gasly, again, just like lap 1, keeps it on the outside. That turns into the inside of the next corner and just makes it through, and he keeps 4th place. So we're going to have to just keep behind him, try and chase him down, but he's done well there to, keep it around the outside, just keep a very tight line, which doesn't allow me to do any sort of cutback move, and we're just going to have to try and see if we can do it on the very next lap as we move on towards lap 7 at the very end of lap 6 into the chicane. We have another look there, very close to Gasly's rear end, but so frustrating here as we hit the wall a little bit. Thankfully we don't get any damage from that, and a bit of a tail slapper, but it's just really unfortunate. We get right up to Gasly, just can't make it happen, but maybe onto the next lap now. Can we make it? 3rd time lucky here as we move on to the end of lap 7 into the chicane with DRS again. We have a little look, but we think better of it, but this time we get a beautiful run through the chicane, graze the wall of champions. Here we go on the right-hand side with DRS. Gasly surely can't defend this. We go to the outside of turn 1, which will turn to the inside of turn 2. He's still there on the outside and left. He sticks it round. He's going to try it, but we just get the natural squeeze out line, and we're up into 4th place now. We can try and maybe chase after Van Dorn, but as we move on to lap 11, unfortunately that's not possible. Look at that, he's actually bolted away from us. On the mini-map you can see the gap that he's got to us, and Pierre Gasly is right up our chuff right now. We've had to kind of defend and just showing off that the Mercedes just really isn't up to scratch at the moment against these top guys. And as well, oh my god, Gasly's taking us out. Gasly in a straight line's completely turned into us. We've got a puncher, front wing off. What on earth was the Frenchman doing there? I thought he was just going to move to the right-hand side of the circuit to get in the DRS zone. I was going to talk about him maybe battling with us again, but instead he's crashed us into the wall. I do not know what went on there. Maybe he lost some downforce with the DRS. Obviously, he would have had DRS right behind us, so he might have lost some rear-end downforce and might have lost the back end. I'm not too sure. We'll look at a replay soon, but as we come into the pit for a set of prime tyres now, I don't know what this race is going to shape up to be, because we're going to be basically stone dead last at the moment as everyone overtook us there, as we had to go very slowly and cautiously with the puncher and had to let everyone through because the nature of the pit lane entry, we couldn't just kind of barge our way through into the pit. So we're going to be stone dead last on prime tyres, potentially going right to the end, and we've hit probably a few laps earlier than we wanted to. So this is going to be quite a challenge. You know, in Spa we had it maybe a little bit easy with the rain and the nature of the circuit, but this is going to be very difficult. But let's have a look at a replay here and what went on here. So we moved on the left, and here, what on earth was Pierre Gasly doing? I think he just completely misjudged what he was going to do. It looked like he just didn't know what he didn't make up his mind on the move he made, because I moved to the left, he moves to the right, and then he starts moving back to the left and kind of just turns into my right rear tyre and spins me out, and that's where we lose the back end, and we lose the front wing and the puncher on the front right. Here's another different angle, and you can see the swerve and the little jitter Gasly makes towards our rear right tyre, and really unsure what he was doing there. But of course, at such high speeds, you just never know what's going to make you do something like that. You just don't know. There's going to be a little twitch in the car. Perhaps when he went to open DRS, there was just a little shudder of lack of downforce. I'm not too sure. We'll have to maybe look after the race, see what Pierre says. But we're up into 19th place now on lap 14, a few laps later. And so we were stone dead last now. We're now second last as Gasly finally makes his pit stop. And so it takes us 3 laps to then catch up to the first few cars, which are the Force Indies and the Williams. We got Ocon here on the right-hand side. Oh, Perez, I should say. Sorry. Perez on the right-hand side. We go down the inside. We're going to get pinned in by him and Bottas here into the hairpin. I'm sure the crowd will be wondering if we can make a fight back here as we come into the stadium section, but get a good exit. Can we try and get a double toe here on Perez and Bottas? Let's see. The DRS will open now, and we'll see what we can do. So Perez is going to try and overtake Bottas here. Can we try and make a double overtake into the chicane? We move to the right-hand side, down the inside of both of them. Yes, we can, and we're up into 17th place. Beautiful overtake. Very, very crucial overtake. I need to make swift move, and we're up in 17th place, and now we can try and get on the back of Esteban Ocon there in the second Force India, and then Rosberg up ahead of him. So now we're in the slipstream onto the next lap, lap 18 in the toe. Can we make a move down the inside? We're going to go for it. Late move down to the inside, hit the curb, and we've just about made it through. And so we're up into 16th place, and we can try and get on the back of Nico Rosberg in the Williams. It looks like we'll have a good run on him with DRS here. Maybe could we make a move? We're going to go for it. A very late lunging move as Rosberg, I see, he gives me a little bit of room. We go side by side with the German. He pushes wide, and fair enough to him, because that was a very late move for me, but I just thought, why not? I'll go for it, because I really am desperate here to get up the grid, but it just didn't work out that time. So we now move on towards lap 20, right behind the German now, getting an even better run than we did before. Surely this will be it. Down the inside into turn 1. Here we go, lunge down, and we're going to make that move, and we're going to clear his car even before we get to the apex of turn 2. And now we're right behind Alex Lynn in the manor. So can we try and overtake him? He's going to be pretty nippy in a straight line with our Mercedes engine, but of course the Manor car set up for that straight line speed rather than the downforce, and you can clearly see that here as we gain a lot through that high-speed chicane. But he's going to have good pace on towards the back straight, so we're going to have to see how it goes. But we make a lunge down the inside of the hairpin, so we might not even need the back straight as we squeeze them out, and Rosberg makes a very cheeky opportunistic move and gets up behind us as well. So we didn't even need the DRS straight on the back straight here off the hairpin. We just made the move into the hairpin. So very good, very opportunistic, and very easy for us. So on to lap 22 now, fair few laps later, and now we've caught up to Nico Hülkenberg in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see, he's going to try and move, he's going to squeeze us towards the wall. We're going to go down the inside left-hand side, and we're going to clear his car before we even make the brake zone, but we've gone deep onto the grass, Hulkenberg's going to get the cutback line. He goes side by side on the exit, and the German's not going to give up this place easily for his Alfa Romeo team. And can we try and hang around the outside of the first chicane? Yes, we can. Beautiful move there. And we're back up into that place, and we've just made that, but really went deep into turn 1, hit the grass, much like Daniel Ricciardo did in 2014, I think it was, trying to overtake a few cars in that Canadian Grand Prix in his Red Bull. But now, onto lap 24, 2 laps later, right behind Magnussen in the Renault. He's going to be a sitting duck, and we're up into 11th place now, so 1 place off points today. So I did not think it was going to be this good for us, but we've got 10 laps left and we could still get more points than just 1 here for 10th place, which we should get now as we go down the inside of Sainz. He's on very worn prime tires. We go down pretty easily, and so we've got 1 World Championship point. But as I said, we've got 9 laps left of this Grand Prix now on lap 26. Surely we'll get some more points here as we move on 2 laps later to lap 28, right behind the young German of Mick Schumacher in his Alfa Romeo. We're right up his chuff, and we should get DRS here, and we can try and make a move. At the moment, Stoffel Van Dorn is leading the Canadian Grand Prix, so just showing the McLaren solving their issues on the Belgian Grand Prix last time out, and they're really working well at the moment, so giving the Ferraris a fight and something to think about going to the summer break. But getting back to our race, we're right up Mick Schumacher's gearbox here through the final chicane. Great exit there, grazing the grass a little with DRS. Where are we going to go? We're going to move to the right hand side as Mick opts for the inside line. We go round the outside into turn 1, and yet again we clear the car even before the apex for turn 2 arrives, and we make sure we don't leave Mick any room on the outside there, and we're up into 9th place. And look who is ahead of us. Pascal Wehrlein is only 8th place in this Grand Prix. How embarrassing would this be if we can close up to him and overtake him after the crash we had, and at one point we were in last place? This would really put some doubt in Pascal Wehrlein's shoes for if he's going to be even staying at Mercedes for the rest of the season, no doubt, let alone for next year. But right now until lap 29, we are doing just that, but Mick Schumacher comes back at us, so we've got better things to worry about as the German has completely overtaken us with that Alfa Romeo car. Great pace in the straight line, the Alfa Romeo, really set up for the Canadian Grand Prix there for some overtakes, and so he's got us. He's back up into 9th place, and we're down to 10th, and we've got people in the pits. I think that's Antonio Giovinazzi in the pits. We're going to make a diving move down the inside of Mick Schumacher, go side by side, leave him the room, and this will be a deja vu here. We're going to go side by side with the other Alfa Romeo, just like we did with the other one, Nico Hulkenberg, and this is so deja vu as we go right around the outside into the chicane. We're just going to make that move, another beautiful move into that chicane, and that was so similar to the one we made on Hulkenberg. And now we're back up into now what will be 7th places. I think that was Giovinazzi and Verstappen making pit stops there. So on to lap 31, 4 laps to go. We are closing up on Pascal Wehrlein, so I wonder, maybe could we embarrass our teammate completely and overtake him in this Grand Prix? But look at that on the minimap. That's actually Pascal in the pits. We are going to overtake and finish ahead of our teammate after crashing out and being last at one point in this Grand Prix. This is going to send shockwaves in the Mercedes team and really make Toto Wolff think about what's going to happen over the summer break, really. But at the moment, you can see King in the manor in 5th place. Wonderful for him as we cut onto lap 33 now. We have to worry about ourselves as Schumacher comes barreling past us with the DRS. You can see on the right-hand side, my tyres are really starting to wear. We've been on this set of tyres since about lap 14, wasn't it? I can't exactly remember, but we've been on them for a very, very long time. Way too long, and they're starting to really wear, especially on the rear tyres. Didn't get a great exit off the hairpin, but now coming back at Mick Schumacher down the inside. We make that move, and so Mick may have the pace right now in the straight line, but we've got the experience of knowing when to make the moves possible at the Canadian Grand Prix. So we're back up into 6th place, but he comes back at us down the inside. He's going to make it. He tried it. He tried a cheeky little lunge there, but he just didn't work out, so he stayed in 6th place. But now we move on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. The tyres are absolutely dead at this point. Daniel Ricciardo there, you can see briefly, has come up to win the Canadian Grand Prix. But you can see, look at the train we've got. It's myself, then Mick Schumacher, I think Kevin Magnussen, and then Max Verstappen as Mick tries to make a move round the outside into the hairpin. We're just going to, oh no, we're going to lock up actually. I thought I could maybe defend, but no, he's gone right down the inside. He's made the switch back. We locked up, so he's side by side as we squeeze him a little bit. He's going to have DRS. Kevin Magnussen is also going to have DRS, and Verstappen. What's going to happen? Are we surely not going to lose 3 places in the span of one straight? Schumacher's past, Magnussen and Verstappen battle. Ricciardo has won the Canadian Grand Prix. Will it be 6th or 7th for us? We've gone down the inside of Mick Schumacher, and we will be 6th place in the Canadian Grand Prix. Schumacher comes 7th, Magnussen 8th, and Verstappen 9th, and a wonderful Wonderful comeback drive for us. 6th place. Wow, what an ending to that Grand Prix. Very, very close with Mick Schumacher. But nonetheless, disappointing stuff for us because we were 3rd place. You know, this is my favourite circuit, and I enjoy it so much, but just what a disappointment that was at the beginning of the Grand Prix. We've done well to fight back, don't get me wrong, but we've lost a lot of ground to Ricciardo in the championship, and even Van Dorn, Vettel, even Hamilton. You know, you got to say it's so tight this season, and just can't let these points slip, especially when our Mercedes car, is not the fastest car at any point in this season. So yeah, just a little bit frustrating there, but Daniel Ricciardo gets Ferrari's first win in the season. What about that? The new kid to Ferrari gets the first win, not the old guard of Sebastian Vettel. Van Dorn comes second, showing off McLaren really going strong into this summer break, and they might come out of the summer looking very, very tasty. Sebastian Vettel gets that 3rd place to round out the podium, but Jordan King gets 5th. Brilliant for Manor, and then we can see my teammate down in 10th place with 1 point. We've completely embarrassed him today, completely done that. But guys, if you enjoyed that episode, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoyed today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Another race, another comeback drive for you today. Considering you were last for a few laps, a good drive back into the points for you, right?
Yeah, it's becoming, unfortunately, a bit of a habit. Hopefully, it's something that doesn't continue on into the second half of this season, but yeah, I think we can be sort of happy today. I mean, a bit gutted we've lost a lot of points in the championship to Ricciardo, but like you said, considering we were last at one point, we had a puncher and no front wing, I think coming back for this many points, 8 points, is pretty good, and it was very, very close at the end. It could have been less points, but just about kept it through. I was very surprised Mick was actually able to close up on us so much with us having some tyre issues at the end. Obviously, we went very long on the primes, but just surprised that he was able to keep it up because he was on his tyres for quite a long time as well. So fair play to him in Alfa Romeo, but we just about kept it through. But yeah, as I said, hopefully it doesn't continue like this for the second half. We've had 2 in a row now. We've had to come back and fight, and you know, we already have to make a sort of comeback, if you will, because the car's just not there on pace. So it just adds to the job we have to do. So hopefully it's something that goes away in the second half.
Now, have you spoken to Pierre since the race ended?
Yeah, Pierre came to me just before in the paddock now and apologised, and I accepted it. You know, these things happen in racing sometimes. You know, when you're going so fast, especially down the straight of Canada, you know, just one little twitch will do it. And you know, we have great respect for one another. He's won multiple races this season, so it's not like he's mucking about. And so it's just one of those things that happens. But you know, of course, I was pissed off at the moment at the time of the crash, but it's all behind us now. And yeah, I think we have, as I said, good respect for one another going forwards.
And now, I hate to ask this, but following some rumors of some not-so-pleasant conversations between Toto Wolff and Pascal Wehrlein after Spa, and given his performance today where he finished behind you, will he still be your teammate for the Monaco Grand Prix?
I honestly think it's not correct for me to comment on anything behind closed doors that we've spoken of or whatever you've heard of in the news. Clearly, you know, something's not going right at the moment for us because we're lacking quite a lot in the constructors, although we are there, or I'm there in the Drivers' Championship. You know, we want to go for the constructors. We lost it last season, unfortunately, and that was very gutting. So we need to do something. Something's clearly not there, and I think it's very difficult to fight for a championship when half of your garage are not scoring the points every weekend. So you know, Toto knows that something needs to be done, whatever it is, and I'm sure he'll make the correct decision over the summer, and I trust him in that. So yeah, I guess we'll see.
Okay, thanks for your time, and enjoy the break.
All right, yeah, cheers.